Good evening. This is Elson Eldridge Jr. welcoming you to tonight's NGH Summer Institute seminar, during which NGH members can earn 2 continuing education hours for being with us this evening. Tonight's conversation will focus on a post-convention course, and the title is Intervening in Unhelpful and Unhealthy Sleep, New Approaches, with Debbie Papadakis and Dr. Jean Eljay. Welcome, everybody, and hey, you guys, welcome to Deb and Jean. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
So good to
nice to be here, Elson.
Good to have you
nice
guys
to
there.
Be here, yes.
And our goal is to help everyone understand how important, for one thing, sleep is, and how one can not only value the sleep, but make sure one gets enough of it, and one be able to. And also now to help the hypnotist, help anyone that needs sleep. Well, you're going to talk about all of that. So let's go on to, the rules of sleep hygiene, significant in helping sleep clients. Now, as I ask questions, Deb, do you answer them? Does Dr. Eljay answer them?
Both of them we can jump in. Do you want to start answering some of the questions, Dr. Eljay?
Yes.
Sure, I can do this one. So,
okay.
I can.
Whoever wants to, grab that one. Rules of sleep hygiene, significant in helping sleep clients? Yes or no?
Right. Absolutely. But there's a caveat to that, and that is that sleep hygiene never cured anyone's sleep problems. So,
do you know we have any trouble with the phone was?
Yep. Yes, sorry. I'm having problems hearing him.
It's Dr. Eljay, yes?
Yes. Trying to adapt.
Hey, Dr. Eljay, are you using your regular phone? Because we're having trouble understanding you.
Right. So I just put it on the speaker. Is that better?
Oh, that's much better.
Yes.
Yeah, actually
Okay.
it is. All right. Then pick it up and keep going then. That sounds good.
Right. So sleep hygiene rules are, in a sense, a requirement for good sleep, but they don't solve the problem of poor sleep. So it's something you need to do to help you establish a pattern so that you can sleep. But if you're having trouble with sleep, it's not going to solve that problem. So, for instance, you want to reduce the time that you spend in bed while you're not sleeping, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to spend a lot of time in the bedroom when you're feeling particularly frustrated or worried. And the other thing is that in a lot of the clients that I see with sleep dysfunction, they have this concern. They're totally worried about their difficulty falling asleep, so that they're focused on not falling asleep. So one of the first things I do is have them abolish the word sleep in their vocabulary and substitute it with repose or slumber or just another word. Because every time they say the word sleep, they remember that they're having trouble sleeping.
Interesting.
And that's also true for the sleep notebooks. I've had clients who come in and they're waking up every hour or so in order to write in their notebook, which is not helping their ability to go to sleep. One of the keys, though, for the sleep hygiene is that if you're having difficulty falling asleep, you don't want to stay in bed. So the rule of thumb is between 10 and 20 minutes. If you're not asleep in 10 to 20 minutes, you need to do something else. Debbie has a wonderful technique for that. I have several as well. But so you want to engage in something relaxing and distracting. You can read a book. I don't recommend watching TV. And you have to be very careful about the light situation where you're reading that book. I tell my clients to get a geology book or the telephone book, because if that's not going to put you to sleep, I don't know what will. The other thing is that you want to maintain a very regular sleep-wake cycle. I hate to mention this, but one of the things you should avoid if you're having trouble going to sleep is daytime naps, not mentioning any names. You don't want to exercise. You want to exercise, but not directly before you go to bed. You want to establish some kind of calm and quiet bedroom setting. You don't want to have your clock staring in your face. Not having a clock is preferable, but, for some people, it's because they need the alarm. You can just turn the face of the clock to face away from you. Cool temperatures are good in the bedroom. Some people get very hungry at night, and a light snack is appropriate, but you want to avoid either, spicy foods or heavy foods. And you also want to avoid taking in excessive fluid intake, because that's just going to continue to wake you up. And then, of course, the usual, you want to limit the consumption of nicotine, caffeine, alcohol, especially just before going to bed. The sleep aids that are prescribed, they're only for short-term use, even though a lot of people use them continuously, and that's probably not a good thing to be doing. So the way I look at this is that you want to set up a routine, a habit, in a sense, that tells your body that in the next 30 minutes I'm going to be going to bed. And that can involve one of my favorite things, a placebo, herbal tea, a warm glass of milk, a hot bath, you can go on and on and on. But the more elements you have and the more times you repeat that, you start to send a very strong signal to your body that this is a quiet time. Of course, teens have their own problems with sleep hygiene as far as their 24/7 awareness of their phones, computers, iPads, etc., etc. But that's clearly another issue. Debbie, did you want to comment about what you do when you leave your bed?
Well, I don't know if I'm the best candidate for that, but I do use my iPad even at night. But there are many ways to deal with this. But as you mentioned a few minutes ago, Dr. Eljay, a lot of those techniques are the hygiene and all that. People have gone to their doctors, and there are a lot of information in the internet, and we're going to give people a number of list of things what to do. However, we need to look, as hypnotists, we need to look at the deeper level of how we can help the people. I mean, having light lunch, dinner, and all this other stuff that you mentioned, and maybe more. We have a list of, a few pages here, and we can tell them all about that, but they're still having problems. So as hypnotists, I do believe that we have I don't know if I say this time I'm going to say responsibility, because people come to us for help, and they have gone to everyone for help, and they come to us for help. And I developed this technique so many years ago, 20 plus years ago, and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And we have little things adding every year, because as I'm working, I have worked at least with 10,000, maybe more people with the sleep issues. and most people are getting help, because most of them, they know to have a dark room and not to have iPads in the phone in the room, and not to put the TV and all that, and to have a nice and warm tea, herb tea and all that stuff. But they're still having problems. And I feel myself that if you really learn how to hypnotize a person and ask their subconscious to tell us what's going on and what is the problem, why they're not sleeping, we can get the problem resolved much easier. As I said, I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and I have so many people. I was talking earlier to somebody. I have so many clients that I cannot even handle the load of work, and this is because I'm working with these techniques that I'm using for sleep. But a lot of those techniques can be used for other things, anxiety and stress and other issues. So you can take these things that we can teach at the conference, and then you can use them in many other ways for other issues, and you can. That's how I believe hypnotists will get more clients. Clients have to come from. Yeah.
Deb, let me ask you, you guys have put together something called the Sleepy Time Mini Regression.
Yes.
Let's move there for just a minute, because how is that best defined?
Okay. This is the mini regression is I developed it many years ago, more than 25 years ago. I had one day a client come in my office, and she said to me in the middle of the night, I get up, I go and eat the chicken downstairs. The fridge is empty. The bones and the chicken is on the table after I finish eating. And then but I don't remember anything. I have no memory of and I know nobody else lives in my house. So I didn't know how to help this lady, and I put my head into thinking, and I said, how can I help this lady? And then I thought, why don't I ask her subconscious to tell me how this happens? He gets up from the second floor, goes downstairs, eats the food, and she leaves the table mess, but nobody else is there, so it's got to be her. So I hypnotized her, and I asked her, first of all, I asked her what time she was going to bed. She said I was going, I think around 11 o'clock. So I just asked her to feel herself on when she is 11 o'clock in bed. And of course, I asked for all kinds of emotions, what she's feeling, what she's thinking, and if she is ready to sleep. And she says, no, I'm just stressed. How about 11:30? Well, I am really stressed. So I said, then find that stress. Define that stress. Tell me what is behind that stress. What is the emotion that you feel that creates the stress? And most people will say, I feel anxiety, I feel angry because I can't sleep, or I feel angry because I have other issues, or I start thinking about my everyday. So anyways, and I would take that emotion and I would regress it back to its original cause. And quite often people will go back into who knows where, when they were 2 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old. We go there and resolve the issue, and I will demonstrate. I will do 2 demonstrations that day in the class and demonstrate how do we resolve the issues. There's very simple ways to resolve issues. We cannot just go back, look at the issue, and then walk away. We have to go and maybe reframe it, maybe find another way to do it. There is a number of ways to heal it, to clear it, and once you clear it, the subconscious is like a domino effect. And then you request the subconscious to take all these issues, to bring these positive issues that we brought now, and trace it back to the now, and there is a specific way to do that. And all of a sudden, the people come back, and I say, go back to bed, 11 o'clock, 11:30, tell me how you're feeling. Quite often we'll find, and then I take the person from 11 to 12 and 12:30 and 1 and 2, and then sometimes people may wake up, I don't know, they have a hard time sleeping, and then we clear that, and then they may sleep for a couple hours, and then they wake up. We take that, we trace it back, It's a phenomenon to clear the issues that bother you. They're coming up at night. And the reality is, what kind of issue will come to you in the middle of your night? Has to be your biggest worry, your biggest issue that bothers you daytime, but you're too busy daytime to think about it, and you can avoid thinking. But as soon as you go to bed, that comes up. And if we can resolve that biggest issue, all of a sudden the people feel stronger, feeling better, feeling able to sleep, able to release their worries, release their anxieties. So it's a number of ways to help them with this little issue. And the reality is, as we all know, sleeping is the root cause of other things, yet sleeping creates other problems. It is the cause of other medical problems. So we have to really look at it. And today we have 85 or 83.5 million Americans, North Americans, are affected by sleep issues. And then we have more than 100 million people are every day anxious about night sleep and worry. And how many they're not even recorded? Did I go too long?
Right. No, that was good. If I understood going back that you actually developed this specific technique quite a while ago, yes. and now would I be right to say, and it's now recycled and it keeps getting better and better, or what?
It is getting better and better. It is getting better and better. I have developed this year again capsular techniques. As I'm working with it, I started having different questions, different ways to work with it, and all of a sudden we have a bit better results. I have a number of doctors that are sending me clients, and if they hear that they have the clients, the patients have a sleeping problem, they say, "I'll just go to Debbie." "Oh, just go to Debbie." So I become the person to go to because I help them with that. But there are the techniques are getting better and stronger and more precise.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, not only those techniques can be used for sleeping, can be used also for anxiety and for other things if you just adjust them a little bit. And we're gonna demonstrate all that. Last year we taught Dr. Eljay and I. And we taught this class there, and one of the people who was in Guatemala, she called me from there, and she says, one of the students, "I'm coming to Toronto." She came to Toronto to take my other classes because he says, "I want to learn more. This is so phenomenal. Her work is improved, and everything is wonderful." She came all the way down to take my other classes because he says, "I really want to learn more."
Interesting. So, how long have you been working with this technique, I guess?
More than 22, 23 years now.
And what do the clients, what are they going to learn when they're...
what they're going to learn?
The workshop. Mm-hmm.
The workshop, you mean the hypnotist, what they're going to learn? Well, they're going to learn how. Thank you. They're going to learn how to... first of all, we're going to teach some fast inductions and all that, and they may know that, but also how to take the person in fast induction, how to ask the questions to find what the problem is, how to take and do the regression very fast, many regressions fast and fast, how to resolve the issue after you do the regression, which is the biggest problem, I think, in the whole in our whole area, because quite often people can go back into where the problem starts, but they don't. They have no ways to resolve the issue. So, how do we resolve the issue? In order to resolve this issue, I'm going to teach a number of techniques. How to resolve the issue and find peace and harmony, and then how do you ask the subconscious to take that new feeling, new emotion, and transfer it through the whole. From that time, whatever the issue started it, from that time to now. And we know most of our issues started before 6, 7 years old. So a lot of us having little issue as 6, 7 years old, and then it continues and continues and continues, and 20 years later, we can't sleep, or we feel we're sick, or we are having all these other issues. Can you imagine if we know how to go back and resolve those childhood issues or this the issues that really prevent you from sleeping, but also they help you to get rid of anxiety, depression, all kinds of other issues, and be more motivated to get rid of procrastination to I don't know, I mean, endless issues.
So, as you're describing this part of it, there are, I gather, other techniques that people are also going to, that you're going to be using during the workshop as well? Very much
so. Other techniques in big way, and I know Dr. Eljay is going to use some of his techniques, but I'm going to use my techniques, because you cannot just use one little thing. You have to take it in a package, and this is why I will do 2 demonstrations in that class, and people are usually fascinated with the demonstrations, and even with the 1 hour demonstration, if we do it, when I do it, even an hour, I still do demonstration, and the results are phenomenal. Maybe Dr. Eljay can talk about it. Last year we had the 1 hour demonstration about the sleep. We had some incredible things. Okay. Dr. Eljay, you want to talk about?
Yes, well, one of the things I want to point out is that in the most recent National Sleep Foundation American poll, 63% of Americans reported that their sleep needs aren't met during the week. So sleep deprivation is a societal epidemic that exists across all countries, economic statuses, industries, and seniority levels. And one of the things that's really important to me about sleep, and this is why I really focused on it. So my focus has always been on the chronic, the congenital, and the cancer patient, because Western medicine really is dealing with some of their medical problems, but in the main, once that's done, they're kind of let go, and they don't know how to go on with their life because their life has totally changed. So I looked at that very carefully, and my conclusion was that the people that do poorly, have poor prognosis and actually do poorly on treatment and medical management, they're not sleeping well. Mm-hmm. Now, that can be for a whole host of reasons, and to me, this is one of the biggest positives for hypnosis, and one of the things that all the students in the workshop will learn is that even if you just focus on sleep and you release the core problem for sleep, you still have problems, comorbidities, and co-mortality, actually, that will keep bringing it back. So, for instance, let's say you have a disease and you're in pain, and you release the core reason why you're not sleeping. But if you don't release the pain, you're still going to have a problem. That's also true with diabetes. It's also true with the other emotional aspects of one's life. So Western medicine tends to focus on one issue, one solution, while, as Debbie, really brought out, is that a hypnotist has a bag of tricks and a bag of tools that he's or she is able to provide that allows the ability to attack these problems on multi-levels. One of the nice things about the mini regression is that even if you release a single problem, you can still use it to see if there's problems that remain. Because one of the things you definitely want to do is to release 100% of the problem. And I think that that's highly, highly significant.
Oh, absolutely. I was noting earlier
yes.
on the notes when I was getting ready for tonight's call, and one of the paragraphs in the information we put out to membership. I'm going to read the sentence, and then I want to get into, okay, where do we go with that? Where it says, Debbie and Dr. Eljay will teach you simple, easy-to-learn techniques that will change your hypnotism career forever.
Can I say something about that? Well,
yeah,
it will change your... Can I just say something here, and then you can add, Dr. Eljay? Many hypnotists are looking for clients. By coming to this workshop, you're going to learn so many techniques and so much, you're going to watch how you can take one issue and trace it back, and that you can heal the sleeping problem, and within that you can heal the pain problem, and within that you can heal other things because they're all interconnected. And once you start working at that level, the clients will be coming to you. Like right now, I can't even handle the number of clients I have myself, because they all wanted to have you, doesn't matter what you charge, because they want to get help. A lot of people, the whole society is suffering right now, and we have so many tools, but we need to increase the possibilities. We need to learn more techniques. We learn to work with different ways in order to help our clients. And my personal, if I say Karen, at that workshop, you're going to learn so many techniques that you're going to increase your practice, and the people will start coming to you. Instead of going and putting more advertisement, your clients will advertise for you.
That's a good plan.
Excellent.
Dr. Eljay, you want to say anything else?
Well, I think your focus on suffering in the society is very, very appropriate. And, just to go over quickly that you'll learn techniques in the workshop that are focused specifically on the sleep issue. And I do want to say that probably the two best studied interactions of hypnosis and disease in the medical literature, one of them is sleep with an 85% correction, and the other one is IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. So, there are techniques that are well established and have directed at a single issue. But as Debbie pointed out, and I think is so important, is you have to reiterate what you're doing, because there might be secondary and tertiary issues involved, and you need to clear them or you're not going to clear the sleep issue. The second thing that we're going to focus on in the workshop is kind of the overview of the suffering. So, Debbie's mentioned time and time again that anxiety in our society is probably at epidemic proportions and growth, which is unfortunate for everyone. By the way, I define anxieties in a very non-medical way for my clients, because I find that if you look in the medical literature, the definition of stress and anxiety are so overlapping that it's hard to distinguish. And yet, from a hypnosis point of view, it's critical to distinguish them. So I define anxieties as threatening lies from the future that you create in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a way where you can use a pin to start to deflate that balloon of the problem of anxiety. Because if you look at, when you're feeling anxiety, if you look at it as a lie, it kind of helps you put it in perspective. And then finally, with this overlayer is the layer I was trying to describe before, where, obesity is an issue with sleep, pain is an issue with sleep, I can go on and on with the other complementary emotions and problems and other issues that either can create the sleep problem or contribute to it. It's kind of the patented egg or chick question. You never know which comes first. But, sleep problems do lead to a whole host of mental, psychological, physiological, and other types of medical problems.
Yeah, there are many medical yeah, go ahead.
I was fascinated by reading a little further when I was thinking about the course, the incredible course you're teaching, and other techniques it was talking about. Covered in the course are, and as I was thinking about that, the array of opportunities that the hypnotists are going to have to help the clients. Just in this one part here, how to change the past, impact the future, handle distractions, and create rapid, long-lasting results for sleep issues and other issues. That's amazing that you can actually cover that in this one course that will help just about every hypnotist client, if I'm understanding this correctly.
Yes, very much so. I can say that myself because I've done that for so many years. And you can find the root cause, clear it, change it, and transform the person's thinking, feeling, experiencing, and all of a sudden they can go back to sleep. Of course, they have to look at the hygiene and also other stuff too, but as soon as they clear up the issues in such a deep levels, their whole life is going to change, not only the sleeping problems. The other thing I wanted to mention, a lot of people have nightmares, and I work with nightmares all the time, and I'm going to cover nightmares, and I'm going to demonstrate that how they clear up, and people will be fascinated. I have so many thousands of people I work with nightmares, and it's so simple and easy techniques to do that. I will make sure I cover it in this course.
Excellent. I'm going to ask both of you, and between yourselves, to describe, and this is the easiest way for I think everyone to sort of get a real handle on what they can expect to learn and experience during and through the course. And so I'd like to envision, as people come to attend the course, can you take the course sort of between the two of you from the beginning of the course as you go through it, exactly what they experience and what they're going to learn as we go? Yeah.
Okay, maybe I can start with this first. They're going to increase their success level of work. They're going to increase their confidence, then expand their knowledge. They can see how incredible results are happening within 10, 15 minutes of working with somebody or half an hour. And they're going to be watching these demonstrations and learn how to clear issues, how to access the subconscious, and how to locate the root cause of a problem, of sleep issues, and how to clear those issues that store at a cellular levels, and how to induce peaceful sleep to promote health and restore harmony, and to improve the quality of the client's life. You want to add some more? Because Dr. Eljay, he also adds the scientific side of it, and he talks about a number of other things in the course, which is very important. We're not only going to do a demonstration, but we're also going to do a theory to have a better understanding. Do you want to take over from that, Dr. Eljay?
Sure, and I think they understand. I'm sorry?
Yes, do so. Dr. Eljay.
Okay. Yes. So I think you have to understand the spectrum of sleep clients. They go from people that, have been on Ambien for a gazillion years and are scared of the complications associated with sleep medicine, all the way to people who are kind of at their end of their rope because they're not sleeping. They can no longer go to work because they're so overwhelmingly tired. And, you know, as Debbie said at the beginning of this conference, is that they've tried everything. You know, they've been to psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, counselors, you know, and it's between a voodoo doctor and a hypnotist. And fortunately, if they come to us, they're coming to the hypnotist. But the spectrum is enormous. So the negativity that's associated with lack of sleep, it runs the entire gamut all the way to death. As a matter of fact, there's a genetic condition in, I think, the fourth decade of life when it's triggered, causes death through lack of sleep. And of course, there have been a lot of animal models where they've kept the animals up and they've also died. So, you know, sleep is a critical factor. I'm sorry?
That just intrigued me what you just said about the animals and things like that, too.
Yeah.
Some of the tests that were being done, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. People don't realize that they treat it very lightly, but sleep is critical. It's critical for memory, you know. It's critical for a lot of mental, your ability to concentrate, remember, your ability to work. Clearly, the one thing that people don't talk about, and if they did, I mean, the statistics are horrendous, and that's driving. There's a huge percentage of the population that will admit that they fell asleep while they were driving. You know, and then you have the economy and that kind of thing going on, and you have the comorbidities of diabetes. The big one is depression. It used to be believed that sleep problems were secondary to having depression, but in some recent studies, they cured the sleep problem and the depression went away. You know, and
Eljay, when you said the word comorbidity, what does that exactly mean? The words comorbidity.
So those are problems that coexist with sleep issues.
Got it. Okay.
So if you have a
term before, that's why I asked.
If you finish, I would like to go ahead, because I would like to add one more thing after you finish, Dr. Eljay.
Sure. So, so depression, anxiety, and stress. You have addiction, alcohol misuse, drug abuse, and, pain in itself. I mean, pain itself can cause huge sleep problems. And when you have sleep problems, it increases your pain. So you can begin to understand that cycle, that it's kind of an endless cycle with the pain feeding on the sleep problem and the sleep problem feeding on the pain. And that's true of a whole host of things. That's why, from my perspective, sleep is huge in hypnosis. Absolutely huge.
Okay.
Debbie,
oh, sorry. Well, one thing I want to add, you asked us what we're going to teach. I'm also going to, we're going to incorporate it. I'm going to incorporate actually the decoding technique, which is relationship issues. A lot of people who have a hard time sleeping, they have relationship issues with partners, with their children, with their, with food, with whatever. So once we resolve the relationship issues, all of a sudden we can sleep better. And by the way, I wrote a book this year, but it's not ready. It's in the publisher right now. And we already ordered 2,000 books because everybody's waiting for them. It's the relationship code. But I do use the relationship code within the sleeping issues, and I'm going to teach that in that day course.
Oh, good.
How do we clear relationships, and how do we work with it? And it's in each session is going to be tailored to each person, but there are general information that can apply to most people. So this decoding technique, which is it's part of the hypnosis, part of the sleep issue resolution, I should say. Is we're going to talk about it, and we're going to demonstrate it and all that.
Great. Let me ask, can anyone learn to be a practitioner as you're discussing through the processes we're talking about in this course? Anyone?
Yes, you know what? I had a few years ago, one guy sent me an email after he finished the course, and he said he was working in a medical building, and there were 8 doctors. He went back after he took that class. He went back, and 8 doctors who have a sleeping problem, they resolved their issue, and then he became specialist on sleeping issues. So I have a number of cases like that I can tell you with people, but you can take that and then you become a specialist on sleeping issues.
Interesting. So, are there any specific types of consulting hypnotists that either have other specialties or whoever they are? Do you have any recommendations as to who would be the best students to carry on this work, and by going to the course you're teaching with this amazing array of techniques will really, really help those clients with sleep issues in a total way?
I think anybody who is willing, who is interested to learn to help people. There are people, and I know dedicated hypnotists. They're needed right now more than any other time of the periods of time. And if you wanted to learn, if you wanted to expand your business, if you want to help society, if you want to become the expert in this area, yes, you're going to, even though it's a short course, 1-day course, you're going to learn enough to go and become a specialist in that.
Right, and you want to add there that we're always available to our students.
Yes.
So if a student runs into a problem, we're very willing to help them resolve that problem with their client.
Also, we're going to have 1 or 2 teleconferences after the class. We had it last year, and every year. We have 2 teleconferences after a month or 2 months, 3 months. We get them back together, and they ask us questions and how to fix this and how to do that. So we constantly helping them. And during the year, I'm sure, Dr. Eljay, you have some people calling you. I have people calling me and say, I took your class. I have this issue. How do I do? And I write them emails. I talk to them on the phone. Actually, I have to phone somebody in California today. After this, who took my class a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
Right. One of the tools we provide, which is incredibly useful, is that while we focus on the issues, every one of my clients, by the 3rd session, can put themselves into trance through self-hypnosis. And therefore, they can use that technique and technology to meet any challenges in their life as it comes up. It's an incredible lifetime skill. I mean, the really significance of that is there was a breast cancer paper that was either due on hypnosis and either hot flashes or pain. It escapes me at the moment. But one of the critical comments on the long-term follow-up, which is another key to the benefit of hypnosis, is that these changes are lasting. But anyway, the comment was that these women were out of pain but they were using what they were taught, which is the self-hypnosis, to meet all the new challenges in their life as their life progressed post their breast cancer management. And I think that's probably the most powerful statement that you can make about hypnosis.
Amazing impact. Right. Gene Sutton, I want you to share with audiences with us how they can ask questions and make comments, and I want to cover a couple more things and then open it for questions.
Okay, those people that are on the telephone, all you need to do is press *2 on your phone. That's *2 on your phone, and that'll raise your hand, and we can bring you in. If you're on the Internet, there's a box where you can type in a question, and I'll be able to read it and have Debbie and Dr. Eljay answer it.
Great.
Thank you.
As the more I was thinking about who should attend this course, I'm hearing, I think that every consulting hypnotist.
Thank you. You said it better. You said it better, yes.
I mean, it makes so much sense because if I were to ask a question such as how many hours of sleep are required by each of us every day, and there are different answers to that question.
Yeah.
Different doctors suggest different things. People with diabetes are told, well, you need to get 8 hours, or 9 hours, or 10 hours, or 6 hours. And obviously, there's certain numbers of hours you need sleep in order for the body to keep healing over and as Dr. Eljay implied not that long ago in this call and to stay alive. And it's so critical to living. So
really,
when a client says, "Well, how long?" and I've probably read about 5 different books on how long you should sleep in my lifetime. In terms of a book will say, "Well, you really need 8 hours, or you really need this." So, do you have clients ask, well, how many hours would be the right hours for me to actually sleep every night? Do you ever get a question like that from clients?
If I do, I ask them to ask their doctor because I as long as they feel rested in the daytime and they don't feel tired and they function beautifully and they feel relaxed and comfortable. I mean, there are people who have a different hours of sleep, and I remember Dyer Weiss, Dr. Dyer, what's that? Dyer something. He was saying.
Wayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer, thank you. He was saying 4 hours of sleep for him was enough. Okay. And I know for me it's not enough, but I know myself.
Me either.
how many hours sleep I need? I need enough hours to function perfectly. But if they asking for me to tell them how many hours, first of all I tell them they have to see how they feel and all that, and also they have to discuss this with their doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know, Dr. Eljay, you might have a different answer.
Well, no, I think that's always a wonderful answer. But so the hours of sleep is a bell-shaped curve, and if you sleep too short, you run into health problems, and if you sleep too long, you run into health problems. So you have to sleep what's appropriate for you. And one of the rules of thumb that I use for what's appropriate for you, if you're on vacation or you have a long weekend where you have no time pressure, so remember you're supposed to be going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, but in this case, you're supposed to go to sleep without any pressure and then just wake up when you wake up. And that's telling you, and you can do that several times, but what it's telling you is this is the natural amount of sleep that your body uses. Now, the caveat to that is most people have a sleep burden, which they haven't paid up yet. So you can't do that kind of thing if you have a sleep burden, because clearly that burden is going to expand the amount of time that you're sleeping. But that's a good approach. I mean, that's the best approach I've had. The one thing about short sleepers, people that say, oh, I only sleep for 4 hours or 6 hours. Now, there is a gene which causes a DNA gene, not me, DNA that allows you to sleep for very short, but it's incredibly rare. So most people that say, oh, I only need 4 hours or 5 hours of sleep, when they tested those individuals with cognitive tests, they were cognitively impaired. So you have to be very careful. The analogy that I always like to give about sleep is that it's like an alcoholic. An alcoholic walking out to their car takes out their car keys because as far as they're concerned, they're not impaired. And it's exactly the same thing with the sleep impaired. They don't know that they're impaired.
Really good point.
Very good point.
I think one of the things I remember reading, particularly about this course, is that it brings it induces peaceful sleep in order to promote health and restore harmony and improve the quality of your client's life.
Yeah.
And that probably says it all, but needs to be sort of heard in a very meaningful way in terms of what hypnotists are really doing, consulting hypnotists are doing, to help the client in not just facing and dealing and healing and one or two or three different kinds of things that a client is dealing with, but it sort of affects. And am I right, Dr. Eljay? And that sleep affects your entire life in a meaningful and a very important way, that if you don't get it so it's working and you can sleep when you need to, then how disoriented health-wise can one become by having just too little sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's absolutely right. I mean, first of all, just look at the social interaction. When you have, you know from personal experience, on those few days you don't get enough sleep, you're kind of argumentative, you kind of snap at people. So that's kind of a social aspect. But from the health point of view, you're talking about huge diseases, very common diseases. You're talking about cardiovascular disease. You're talking about diabetes. You're talking about immune function. And I can go on and on and on. The genes that regulate sleep, the circadian rhythm genes, are just now being, uncovered and explored. The Nobel Prize, I think 2 years ago, was given for the circadian rhythm genes. So the whole sleep pathway is basically still an unknown. And it's definitely a critical factor, especially in our society today, because the pressure in our society is not to sleep, right? People are being forced to be 24/7 employees.
I've heard a couple of things discussed and mentioned about the word naps during the course of the day or during any part. How does napping during the day help augment that sleep which you've missed out on, or does it, or can't it?
Right. Do you want to do that, or do you want me to do it?
No, you go. I think you're more specialized on that. Even though I come from a country, I come from Greece where everybody naps every day. Go ahead.
So, again, there's one caveat to naps, and, I'll say it right up front so people don't get confused, and that is that if you're having trouble going to sleep, you shouldn't nap. With that said, so I mean, if the napping is disturbing your nocturnal sleep cycle, then you shouldn't nap. On the other hand, most naps are great. So I could give you wonderful examples where, for instance, universities are now putting nap rooms in their libraries so the students can nap during the day. Because you can function,
okay. Yeah.
You can function much better having a short 40-minute nap and then come back to do your work. Naps are just additive sleep, and they help reduce your sleep burden. So as long as they're done correctly, not too short, not too long,
sure.
and they don't take away from your sleep at night, it's a fantastic way to add rest and relaxation, peace and calm to your life.
I was fascinated by your use of the word sleep burden, which is very interesting. Just that's an interesting thought. As you don't sleep enough year after year after year, that could become a burden, but you can never really make that up in real life, can you?
You can, but the burden increases so that it's additive. So what people fail to realize is when they're going to sleep 6 hours or 5 hours a night during the week because of work and social and whatever, they're accumulating 3 hours of burden each night, or 15 hours. And then they try to make it up by sleeping 2 more hours on Saturday and Sunday, and that just doesn't pay them.
Sure.
You have
so
to
your
really
goal is to have every client who comes, and those hypnotists are taking this program, they will know how to induce what we'll call peaceful sleep.
Yeah.
To promote the health ultimately in every client. And I believe, Deb, that's what you've been really making happen with, I believe it's thousands of clients over the years, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Thousands of clients and so many students I teach hypnosis. I teach them a part of the sleep program. But I thousands, I don't know, I cannot tell you how many thousands, but I have seen more than 30 or 40,000 people all total, or maybe more, but more than 60-70% I work on the sleep issue.
That's wonderful.
Right, and also one of the words I like to use instead of peaceful sleep is restful sleep. Because many people wake up after 8 hours of their eyes being closed, and they're more anxious, more nervous, more worried than when they went to sleep.
Interesting. Gene, let's see if anybody has any comments or questions. This is about that time to do that. And you've given them exactly how to, if they're on the phone, how to make that happen, raise their hand, or write a question or comments onto the internet part.
Okay. Don't have any hands up on from the telephone, but do have a comment from someone named Dee, who apparently took the class and said, I learned this sleep technique many years ago and was fascinated with the process. I use it with my clients who have issues sleeping, and the results have been great. I highly recommend this class.
Thank you so much. You say the name was Dee?
Her name is Dee, and she's from Toronto.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. There are many people, and as you see what's that called? Not testimonials. I don't know whatever they call them. In the end of the class, they give you. They're also positive. I mean, you
evaluations.
Evaluations. Thank you. They're so powerful and so everybody's excited. I mean, I have number of times I have people come afterwards and take my other classes because they say, I want to learn more. I want to learn more. I want to learn more.
Wonderful.
I have to say that going to the convention and going to the seminars and workshops it's like rejuvenating as a hypnotist. It allows you to focus on the joy of really dealing with people and allowing them to become, the best possible person that they can be.
Yeah, and I've been in 23 of them. 23 times I came to the conference. I missed 2 years ago because I went to Greece, but I think one more year, but I'm there all the time.
I think one of the things that people.
I was pleased just when you were sharing you're adding part of your relationship program that you developed a couple of years ago that had such wonderful results as well. So they get the whole package with this particular.
The whole package, yes. And my book is coming up in 2-3 months.
All right, fantastic. Oh, I'm so glad you're on the program tonight to share what people can take advantage of. Coming right up in not far away, August 12th, this course begins, and it's a remarkable tuition. It's $225, which is, what you can do for your clients with that such a minimal investment, really. In the time frame, every consulting hypnotist at some point should take this program to gain into your own world of knowledge the opportunity to help clients get what Dr. Eljay says is restful sleep, and help their health, help their life, help everything about as we live forward. And we may be energetic during the days, but without the proper sleep, we can deteriorate real fast, and we don't want to do that. So I'm going to ask Dr. Eljay to wrap the call with us and explain a little more about his invitation to come take this course that he and Deb are teaching. And then I'm going to follow that with Deb from her perspective. And I'm just so glad to have had this opportunity to learn more about this course for those who are on the call and from the two of you. Dr. Eljay, you're up.
Wonderful. So the analogy that I like to make to hypnotists for their clients is that their clients live their life in a great measure as a horse with blinders on. They only see what's straight in front of them. And the real beauty of hypnosis is that it expands your horizon, it opens your universe. It gives you countless more opportunities and choices in your life. As a matter of fact, you look at the world as a totally redefined place. And I think that is such a marvelous attribute.
Great.
What can I say about this course? But I also want to talk about the conference too. I am in this field for more than 25 years, and my life transformed in many, many ways. And if you're going to do something, and I was, hypnotist, therefore I had to be the best I could be. And I took classes from many, 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 many people. And this class is the result of all this combination of classes I'm taking. And Dr. Eljay brings another aspect to it. So it's an incredible result we never had yet for so many years. I already taught it, I don't know, a number of years, and then Dr. Eljay came with me the last 3-4 years. And all these years, we never had a bad testimonial or evaluation, I should say. and it's incredible. Everybody was excited. Also, we're going to do demos, and you might be the demo there to clear up your own issues. I don't know what else I can say. That this is a must class. If you want to improve your business, if you want to help the world, if you want to be the best you can be, I think this class is one of the classes you must take.
Terrific. Thanks to both of you for being here tonight. And thanks to those of you who are on the call. And looking forward to the course, looking forward to the convention coming right up. Deb, you said you wanted to mention the convention itself. Yes,
I'm going to be there. Well, this is my 23rd time I'm going to be there. I only missed 2 years ago because I had to go to Greece. But it's part of my year. I mean, 1/4 of my life. No, not even quarter. I don't know, 25 years. I'm coming there and seeing my old friends, my new friends. It's incredible, and you learn more and more and more. I just wanted to say to everybody who is thinking about it, it's time to just sign up and come down.
Great. Thanks. Thanks to both of you. And all of you who are on the call. And I'll remind you that we have other teleseminars coming along, and Jean is going to share with you right now how, for being with us right up to this evening right now, how you get the 2 hours of continuing education.
Okay. Those people that are on the telephone, you'll need to go to www.ngh.events/Papadakis, CEH 2019. That's www.ngh.events/PAPADAKIS CEH 2019. That'll take you to the survey to sign up for your 2 continuing education hours. Those of you that are on the internet, you'll see a link there that you can click on, and that will take you automatically to the survey.
And also, they're going to take this sleep CD or something.
Oh, tell us about that. Yes.
Well, I'm not sure where they have to click in, but they will get the Deep Night Sleep or something like that. The name is, and it's a CD that I have developed, and it's incredible for people who have a problem sleeping themselves. They can download it for free if they
Terrific.
have it.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing I want to add to that, which came up on Monday, and that is that if you are going to attend the course, and I hope you all are, the handouts there are, much more in depth and much more step by step. So if you're not going to attend, then these bonuses are perfect. But if you are going to attend, you'll get a much more precise one in the course itself.
Yes.
And the title of the white paper that I have in front of me is Replace Unhealthy Sleep Habits with Healthy Behaviors. And so that's available. And Jean, do we have a copy of that we can distribute from our side? Okay.
No, we don't.
We'll get a copy. Either Deb or Dr. Eljay will get us a PDF of that, and then we can respond when people ask for it. Terrific.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much again. And
thank you.
Look forward
Thank
to
you.
you.
Wonderful.
Look forward to seeing you at the convention.
Yeah.
This course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
thank you for the opportunity, Elsa. It's wonderful as always.
Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you. And God bless everybody who was on the call or the ones they're going to listen to the call.
Because that's exactly correct. Because this call has been recorded and will be now available. Within hours. Okay. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Good night now.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bless you.
Bye.